Hello City fans, we're outside the Etihad. We're here at Somerby Bar, a little bit quieter than on match day, but we're here to give you your Manchester City vs Liverpool preview, which is coming thick and fast at 12 o'clock. Hello City fans, hope you're doing fantastically well. We are back here with your City vs Liverpool preview. We're here at Somerby Bar. Let's get into the thick of that. Hello City fans, hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Conor McGilligan here and we are back with your Manchester City vs Liverpool preview. Yes, City kick off the campaign again at 12:30 on Saturday. Let's get into it. So as we know, City fans, there are several talking points ahead of this game. Is Erling Haaland going to be fit for this one? We don't know yet. This is recorded on the Wednesday, so we're going to be able to figure that one out a little bit later on down the line after Pep's press conference. Phil Foden is going to be out for this one, which is a massive blow for City, but we've spoken about it numerous times on the channel recently that there are alternatives. Pep Guardiola does have alternatives in his locker when it comes to players playing on that side. Phil barely played, really, did he, for a succession of games, and that was because Riyad Mahrez's form was absolutely exquisite. It was consistent, it was very good, and Mahrez's numbers this season have been excellent. So the likelihood would be someone like Mahrez coming back into it. If you're going to be different, which we know Pep can do, if he wants to tinker with it a little bit more, you potentially could stick Bernardo Silva in there. Now, if you put Bernardo Silva in there, it gives you a little bit more flexibility, but when it comes to control in certain areas of the pitch where Bernardo is absolutely essential, I think you lose that if you put him out wide. I think he needs to be involved in the game a little bit more when it comes to the central areas. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not Pep does that, because as we know with his wingers, they are literally touchline, players. They rarely are inverted, and Pep likes to play with as much width as possible. So it'll be fascinating to see on that one. Would Pep even go to a Julian Alvarez alternative? The reason I mention that is because Julian Alvarez obviously can play out wide. He's done it for Argentina before, he did it with his former club River Plate. However, this is all going to be determined on whether or not Erling Haaland is fit. If Haaland is fit, then we know that Alvarez can play out wide. If Haaland isn't fit, then you're looking at Alvarez potentially playing up top by himself. There are several options there for Pep Guardiola, but I think it would be odd and it wouldn't be right for City fans to be panicking about Phil Foden being out. He's been absolutely superb, and there is a definite link between City doing so well and the upturn in form to, when you're looking at Phil being included in the squad, but City going to a back three, which we're going to come on into a minute. Kevin De Bruyne's form as well, getting increasingly better. I think they are all links as well, so I think City is still going to be able to progress nicely into this Liverpool game. Let us know what you would do in the comment section below, everybody, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on when it comes to Pep's press conference coming up very, very soon. Is Erling Haaland going to be fit? And Liverpool fans will be keeping their fingers crossed for that one. The reason I mention that is Virgil van Dijk didn't have a great game for the Dutch against France. He was destroyed by the Dutch media after his performance. France were unbelievable on the night and ran out 4-0 winners, and Van Dijk was heavily criticised by the Dutch media. So coming up against someone like Erling Haaland isn't exactly the perfect recipe for getting back on your horse when it comes to form. So it could be the perfect game for Erling Haaland to be in and around Virgil van Dijk. But I also think when it comes to a big centre-back, which Virgil van Dijk is, someone like Julian Alvarez, a small, diminutive, tricky, quick little striker, is something that could be a huge problem for him as well. So there are alternatives there, and of course if City are to go with Julian Alvarez up front, they can still go with a Mahrez out wide. They can still go, if they want, to a Bernardo Silva out wide. There's still an alternative of Cole Palmer as well if there's rotations, but you would expect Jack Grealish should be starting on his favoured left side. 13 out of the last 15 starts. Grealish has been very, very good. I think it's key as well to look at Kevin De Bruyne, who's been unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable in terms of his turn of form. RB Leipzig and Burnley been standouts, but when we look at RB Leipzig and Burnley as well, I think it's key to note that Man City went to a back three. Nathan Ake has been speaking this week about Pep being very pragmatic and him changing things up, and it actually benefiting City, as we saw in the Leipzig and Burnley games where City were just fantastic. Even going forward, they were superb, but defensively they were very, very good and very, very resolute and very, very able as well. So a lot to take there when it comes to a back three, and it's great that ever since João Cancelo left the club, and obviously he's gone on loan to Bayern Munich, which doesn't seem to be working out perfectly for him, City have been able to mould into that back three a little bit more consistently, which for me has been a huge beneficiary to this Man City side, because they've been able to be flexible, they've been able to be unpredictable when it comes to the opposition, been able to predict, you know, how City are going to set up. Is it going to be a back four? Is it going to be a back three? And they've also been very efficient when it comes to that back three. So very, very positive on all fronts for Manchester City. This Liverpool side is going to come with elements of confidence. You know, they've always given City a run for the money here at the Etihad. It's always a tricky game against Liverpool as well, as City fans saw earlier on at Anfield this season. But I think it's key to note that City are on a very, very good run of form at the minute. A very good run of form that is going to be difficult for any team in the Premier League, including Arsenal, to contend with. And the task is in front. You beat Liverpool, you know, the next game in front of you is Liverpool. You beat them, you move on again, and it's 1 foot forward, which is what Pep always likes to discuss. He doesn't like talking about 10, 11, 12 games ahead. It's always about the next game. So I'm really keen to hear what he has to say in his press conference. But just coming out and looking at it from a standstill right now, I think City are going to have too much for Liverpool. I think even with the injuries, you know, obviously Erling Haaland is going to make a massive difference, but someone like Julian Alvarez is definitely, after his new contract's been given as well, Julian Alvarez is definitely someone who can step up and make his mark. It'll be a huge game for him as well if Haaland is out. Pep will turn around to him and say, look, go out there and show why you should be starting above Erling Haaland if Haaland is out. You know, if Haaland is in and Alvarez is picked to go out wide, City could be pragmatic in the game and go to a front two at points when they're going forward and really confuse Liverpool. But I think City are going to have too much for this Liverpool side. Guys, that has been it from me. We're down here at the Etihad. I hope you're going to be down here at the weekend as well to cheer City on 12:30 on Saturday. Always an early kick-off. You're not always up for it as much as maybe a 5:30 or a 3 p.m. But, you know, get some coffee down here and I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. It's been a murky day here in Manchester, but let's hope City brighten it up at the weekend. I'm going to go with a Manchester City 3, Liverpool 1 result. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Cheers.